Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's IAC webinar. I'm pleased that we have John Person with us today from nationalfutures.com. John's the president of National Futures. He's written many books. He's also published his pivot points, which is a mathematical formula that helps you understand where the potential ranges might be for any asset. He also understands candlesticks really well, trades in all the markets, including currencies. So John is a resident expert in trading, and again, he has a great website at nationalfutures.com. You should check it out. There's plenty of free information there. So if you want to learn more about the markets, please go to nationalfutures.com. Without further ado, I want to introduce John Person. John, how are you?
Excellent, Steve. Thanks for having me today. And I wanted to say hello, everybody, and glad we're all here after Fed Day. Had a little bit of volatility in the markets, and we're going to talk about the two favorite tools that we could use to help us trade starting tomorrow. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Well, today we did say the Federal Reserve, as everyone is aware of, if you are trading, did not adjust interest rates. And we saw a little bit of a, I know we're talking about currencies, but what's interesting, when you look at currencies, you look at the macro global scale of events. And then today, with the Federal Reserve not moving to adjust interest rates, we saw a couple things that I thought were pretty intriguing. We saw the bond market, interest rates, yields kept going down, bond prices going up. We also saw the stock market recover. And, this is a situation that generally we see a decoupling effect between stocks and bonds. So the question begs, who's going to be right, who's going to be wrong, because they can't both go up at the same time. And with interest rates staying stable and with us printing money as such and deficits rising, the fate of the U.S. dollar, and that's where it ties in with foreign currencies, something has got to give. And as a trader, we're looking for clues as to when the markets or if the markets are going to continue to trend or reverse a trend. So the key right now is to find out, if we're trading foreign currencies, what the heck's going to happen with the U.S. dollar and what that will do for foreign currencies. And looking at the euro, the two specific markets that I like to trade being the British pound and the euro currency, based on just the history, the longevity that I've been doing this in both of those markets, and in addition to the volume, these two markets really have been seeing some amazing trends this year, both the pound and the euro currency. And I think we're going to see a continuation going into the end of the year. With where we are with interest rate differentials around the globe, I feel that, just to give my outlook, and I'll base that on some of my technical indicators, and then today I'm going to go into what those technical indicators are and how we use them. The first off, if you look for shorter-term trade opportunities, it's important to understand where a market's been. So I always like to tell traders, start looking at long-term position trades and long-term charts, and then work your way down to the shorter-term time frames. If you're a short-term time frame trader, then it's obvious, or if you're a swing trader, it's obvious to be on the right side of the trend of the market, and you want to be on the longer-term trend. So if the trend is up, or if we've seen a market reversal, it's important to be trading from a swing trade or a short-term perspective from the long side on pullbacks. And if you look at the euro currency on a monthly chart, you're going to see that we formed a candle pattern called a morning star formation. This is an extremely bullish. I think it's going to indicate that the lows for the year are in and have been in the euro currency, and any substantial pullback to 126 to 128 zone, I think is going to be met with a lot of support or strength buying interest coming into the marketplace. So any pullback in the next 4 to 6 weeks in the euro currency to the 126 handle, I think is going to be just a great buying opportunity. We have a defined risk down there at around 118. Some of you might think that's a little too much risk, but if we feel that towards the end of the year, I believe you're going to see the euro currency back towards closer to 140. We have a couple items that can help us to pinpoint some of these price targets. I like to use pivot analysis, and I don't just use pivot points on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. I also like to look at longer-term pivot analysis. So with that said, let's get into our presentation, and I'll give you a little bit more insight of what I'm looking at with particular markets and how these tools can help us as option traders select, the right option expiration time frames, but also the right strike prices. Obviously, the ISE is allowing me to come in and give you a presentation as an education purpose. No one's telling you to go out and buy options right now, but you can definitely get more option information through upon request at 1-888-OPTIONS or www.optionseducation.org. In case anyone's not familiar with the fact that trading is risky, stops do not normally necessarily limit losses, and the government wants me to make sure that everyone understands that trading is risky. So if you'd like a copy of our disclaimers, we certainly can send an email to you, or you can review this on the broadcast or the replays. Thank you all. About ISE-FX options, first off, we trade at the ISE excellent foreign currency indexes. They also have the dollar denominated and also foreign currency denominated. If we look at the pound, we have BPX, which is trading in dollar denomination against the pound, and we also have the GBP, which most people are familiar with the pound as it's quoted in pounds versus the dollar. And so the ISE has now both indexes. As far as the euro currency, it has dollar-denominated euro index, the EUI. It also has the euro currency valued against the dollar, the EUU, and most people are familiar with where the euro currency is quoted against the dollar. So it's good to see that the ISE has the euro currency index against the U.S. dollar. The symbol, once again, is EUU. And those are the two that we're going to pretty much talk about today, because those are my two favorite. But, you do have the Japanese yen, which is in the spotlight right now, the YUK, YUK. The Japanese yen against the U.S. dollar against the yen is making just absolute spectacular moves. And I think, folks, by the way, we are coming to a turning point within the next 10 days of the Japanese yen. So you want to watch out for opportunities there in the yen for a big reversal coming from a seasonal perspective. That's not a part of today's presentation, but I thought since we've probably been hearing about the yen in the news, the strength that we've seen in the yen-dollar relationship and the weakness in the dollar-yen relationship, this is in the news. We're looking for a reversal in this market within the next week to 10 days. The techniques that we're sharing with you today may help you to identify a reversal and a complete trend reversal in that market lasting through into October. So keep your eyes peeled on the YUK in the next week to 10 days for a reversal.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.